Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 18th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Last night was really, really fun. I went out for a friend's birthday. Happy birthday, Flowers. Obviously, you remember Flowers. That's a known name on this podcast. Friend of the show, friend of the pod, guest star, if you will. So yeah, it was nice celebrating with him and the homies. It was a great ass time. And I have a hell of a food corner to get into. So let's delve into that. The first place we started at was Genki Ramen, and I got a good amount of food. I started off with an order of wings because I was just like, these look really yummy. They had this thing called Nagoya style, and I was like, all right, cool, go for that. That works. They were really yummy. Then I saw that people at the table were ordering pork buns, and I've been eyeing those for over a year. I've wanted a pork bun so bad. So I was like, hey, let me get an order of those. And they were delicious. They were on point. I will say they had like a little bit of a almost like a foamy texture, like with the bun that maybe I didn't like 100% love, but still, if those are on a menu, if those are on a plate, I'm gobbling them up, no hesitation. Then the main course came out, or the main course I ordered was the spicy tonkatsu ramen, and that hit. That did not disappoint. I love a spicy dish, a meal that does the thing of like allowing me to sweat, allowing me to realize that I'm hot and I'm eating something spicy, but like still be full of flavor. So I was very impressed. And then they gave us all a thing of like mochi in like various like flavors. There was like strawberry, green tea, there was chocolate. So that was like, wow, okay. So that was awesome. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Then we went out, we did some bar hopping, and like midway through, we start getting the vibe of like, do we want to eat again? And I was like, oh my God, I love this group. I love this crew. This is so cool. And of course, the answer was yes, we did. So we went to Gomez. And I've been to Gomez before. Exactly. Well, I shouldn't say I went to Gomez. I ate someone's leftovers from Gomez, and that shit was fuego. So I knew that like I wanted to go here and see what it was like to get it fresh. So I got three tacos. One was carnitas, the other was barbacoa, and the other one was chorizo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And chips and hot salsa. And then someone else at the table had some queso, so I tried that. That was really good. I mean, it was out of the park. It was really yummy tacos, and also something I wanted to note. They were so fast because we're here and like it's the end of the night. It's late. I can't really remember the time. But I mean, these are after hours type shit, and they're banging out orders super fucking quick. I don't think I waited more than like 5 minutes. I was like, that's crazy. This is for all this good food. Ooh, hell yeah! And of course, I had all that shit spicy, so I was sweating it there too. So yeah, I mean, it was a great night. I also have to close this part of it with just a funny thing that happened to me. It was just very dumb, me being a head ass. End of the night closes. I'm like, okay, I gotta get to my car, and I've been in Cincinnati area like pretty much all my fucking life, and that being said, I don't actually like go downtown very often or do shit. So, I park my car, I remember the street in my head. I even write down it in my little notes app. This is where I'm at. And I'm like, okay, I remember, I got it. I punch it into my little GPS because I'm just going to walk over. And I'm like, okay, cool. I know where I'm at isn't exactly where we started at the night. So I'm sure like I just gotta walk a little bit further and that's fine. Whatever. So I punch it in, at least I think I do. And I just proceed to just get walking, just walking around, la 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 la, blah blah blah. It's the end of the night, middle of the night now, whatever. It's cool. And I walk like 20, 30 minutes. I get to the end of where I'm supposed to be. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. I know I am not really familiar or acquainted, but I don't feel like this is where I started my night at. And I realized, sure enough, I'm on the wrong street and I have to like fiddle faddle around with the GPS some more. And I'm like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh my God, it's so late. Oh, I'm by myself now. Uh, and so I eventually like get it in and I'm like, okay, so I now just have to walk another 20 minutes and then I'll be back in my area, back in my car. So needless to say, after like maybe a 30-minute walk, probably about 40-minute walk, I was like, all right, cool. Good thing I didn't walk today. I got my steps in a big way. And needless to say, I made it home. So yay, awesome. It was just it was a bang up time. I had a blast, and yeah. So there you go. That's my day. It was a good little blog section there. How about that? Let's go ahead and do our startup, and we will get into some news. Okie dokie. From CBS News, 7 dead as storm slam Houston yet again. Hundreds of thousands still without power. At least 7 people were killed as thunderstorms blew out windows in high-rise buildings, downed trees, and knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses in the Houston area Thursday, as Southeast Texas got pummeled for the second time this month. Power outages could last weeks in parts of Houston, an official warned Friday. With temperatures expected to rise to 90 degrees, officials warned residents about being careful during cleanup and due to possible heat stroke or exhaustion. Houston Mayor John Whitmire told reporters in a news briefing Thursday night that 4 people were killed due to storms in the city. At least 2 of those fatalities were caused by fallen trees. Houston Fire Chief Samuel Pena, we're going to say Pena, told reporters. Another was caused by a crane that was blown over by the wind. That seems like such a fucking terrible, like, bad role. Like, what an unfortunate event to be like. I mean, obviously, it's a bad storm. I'm out here. It's scary or something like that. But, like, whole crane just falls over on you? What the fuck? On Friday, the sheriff for Harris County, which includes Houston, reported another 3 weather-related deaths. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said on social media that a 57-year-old man died while trying to move a downed electrical pole. And 85-year-old woman died when a lightning strike sparked a fire in her trailer. And a 60-year-old man was found dead after he went out to his truck to plug his oxygen tank due to loss of power. So that's really fucking sad. There's been a lot of power outages, a lot of damage to the city. The National Weather Service said it confirmed a tornado with peak winds of 110 miles per hour touched down near the northwest Houston suburb of Cypress. We have a storm with 100 miles per hour winds, the equivalent of Hurricane Ike. Considerable damage downtown, Whitmire said Thursday, urging people to stay at home. So yeah, I mean, pretty widespread damage. They don't know exactly when, power is going to be exactly restored. I know the mayor was kind of trying to talk 24, 48 hours. It looks like that's not going to be anywhere near close to the assessment, at least, for Houston at large. So obviously my condolences to, the people going through all that shit, just dealing with all that loss. It's always sad to cover, a natural disaster like this. And it's like, damn, like there's really nothing you can do. You just have to endure it and then try to do your best to pick up the pieces. So, yeah. Moving on, we're going to talk about some scam stuff from the Yahoo News, or not really Yahoo News, I'm sorry, Business Insider. I guess a little bit of both. A massive remote work scam fooled 300 U.S. companies into hiring North Koreans, prosecutors say. An Arizona woman has been accused of aiding North Koreans in securing remote work jobs in the U.S. and funneling their wages back to North Korea, which is subject to U.S. sanctions, according to federal prosecutors. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia announced in a press release on Thursday that Christina Marie Chapman, 49, was arrested on Wednesday and charged with 9 counts, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S. According to prosecutors, the scheme began sometime in 2020 and used the stolen identities of about 60 U.S. citizens. They said it impacted more than 300 companies and generated more than $6.8 million in revenue, which was sent back to North Korea. In the charging document, prosecutors alleged that Chapman facilitated overseas IT workers posing as Americans using the stolen or borrowed identities of U.S. citizens. Chapman was first approached in March of 2020 by an unknown individual asking her if she wanted to be the U.S. face of their company, according to a recently unsealed indictment against Chapman and 3 North Korean citizens. According to prosecutors, the scheme saw overseas workers apply for remote jobs at well-known U.S. companies, including Fortune 500 companies. These included a major television network, a leading Silicon Valley tech company, an aerospace manufacturer, and an American car maker, the indictment said. According to the indictment, the workers used IP addresses to make it appear that they were operating from Chapman's house and within the U.S. Prosecutors said that Chapman received and forged payroll checks and that the wages of foreign workers were paid into her bank account. They added that much of the income, though to be at least $6.8 million, was falsely reported to the IRS and Social Securities Administration under the names of U.S. citizens whose identities who were stolen or borrowed. And then, of course, Chapman was getting like a kickback in terms of monthly fees for her services that she charged the workers. Also, there's a separate account in a separate criminal complaint unsealed on Thursday. A Ukrainian man, Alexander Didinko, was accused of operating laptop farms. So definitely a lot of, criminal activity, if you will. But I mean, this is criminal activity that is more or less kind of born out of, sanctions and the innovation that these countries have to kind of go to be like, look, we need to get jobs that like pay us more money. And like, we can't work in any of these other countries, at least we can't legally. But, they then just go into grift mode. We've definitely covered at least, some scams here and there. From countries like North Korea being like, hey, we don't really have clean options. So, we'll do some cybercrime here and we'll do some fraud there and we'll make it work. And I think at the end of the day, yes, it sucks to get your identity stolen. That is a crime in and of itself. I definitely see it there. But it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, wait, like, yeah, that's all that money. But that's money that North Korean citizens or people worked for, whatever. So it's like that's a crazy grift. Like the grift is the front facing job that you got. Like, oh yeah, like what a crazy turn of affairs. And it's also kind of goes to show that, like, I mean, yeah, like how useful are these sanctions? Like, yeah, you're really putting your boot on North Korea here, and it's like now an American is now going to go to jail for a crime that, and someone could argue, really didn't even need to be committed here. Like, if you could just have the jobs, they wouldn't be going to Chapman to, say, hey, we need you to become a front for us here. I don't know. Maybe that's my wonky way of just looking at it. I don't know. But either way, it's an interesting state of affairs. I found myself very fascinated by this, so I was glad to get some time to talk about it a little bit. We can go ahead and move on to the next scam I wanted to cover. From Cointelegraph, the future of money. Feds bust $73 million crypto scam, arrest 2 masterminds. United States authorities arrested 2 individuals accused of masterminding a money laundering scheme which involved funneling over $73 million dollars through U.S. financial institutions and ultimately converting the funds into Tether. The Justice Department announced on Friday that Darren Lee, 41, was arrested at Atlanta's airport on April 12th, and Yiqing Zhang, 38, was taken into custody in Los Angeles on Thursday. An indictment charging the pair was unsealed in a California court on Thursday, revealing their alleged roles in the scheme. Li Zhang and their cohorts allegedly ran a transactional criminal network that laundered millions from pig butchering crypto scams, where fraudsters gain victims' trust, convince them to invest large sums, and then disappear with the funds. Defendants allegedly instructed co-conspirators to open U.S. bank accounts in the name of shell companies. The scammers convinced victims to transfer millions of dollars into these U.S. bank accounts, which were then used to launder the illicit funds. According to the Department of Justice, the money was subsequently dispersed to various domestic and international bank accounts, the DOJ said. Darren Lee and Yiqing Zhang faced charges of conspiring to launder money and 6 counts of international money laundering. If found guilty, they could receive a maximum sentence of 20 years imprisonment for each count, potentially totaling up to 140 years behind bars. So interesting that, we've talked about, once again, pig butchering before. Definitely these guys getting yoked up, pretty much made an example of. That makes sense. Pig butchering has definitely done a lot of damage to a lot of people. And it's really sad, too, because there's so many stories of it. And, it's usually, a sad single guy or something like that. But I feel like a growing number of people and accounts and testimonies I hear of, are old elderly people. And it's essentially, it's these people are just people, they have nothing to really do. There's not much going on. They have a smartphone. They barely know how to operate. And then they're getting these text messages and calls. And they just don't know really what's happening. And then they respond. And, especially when it comes to pig butchering, it's so easy to get looped into it. I don't know what you're talking about. Who are you? What's going on here? And you want to maybe try to investigate, and you just get caught in it. And the next thing you know, you're invested in them emotionally somehow, some way, and you just wind up giving them money. And I'm sure to the average person listening to me right now, you just think, no way, that just wouldn't happen to me. Of course not. But think about someone who's the age of your grandparent or something. They're just not nearly as savvy. They're not as hip to what's going on right now. And maybe they might get caught up in this kind of thing. And that's really unfortunate, because then it's just, then they're just getting sucked up. Their money's just getting sucked out and it's gone. There's just no way to really get that shit. That's why you get these two guys and there's yeah, we're going to make a fucking example of them. Also, something I kind of wanted to backtrack to, talking about with the North Korea thing, Chapman is the only person I think that's getting arrested here. The other, North Korean conspirators, they're in the wind. They're in North Korea. Yeah, we're going to charge you guys, but it's not like we actually have you in the court of law. You know what I mean? So that's always another important factor, too, is that a lot of times it's like you're chasing a ghost, you're chasing a specter. Maybe you can link it to this criminal organization or these people, but these people are not people that are attainable by you as a nation state. So what do you do? I mean, we'll try them in absentia, I guess, whatever that's worth. Let's see here. We have one more thing I wanted to cover. So let me go ahead and take my last break, and then we will get into it. From CNBC, GameStop, AMC tumble as meme stock rally fizzles after just 2 days. GameStop and AMC shares fell Wednesday as the meme stock trading frenzy showed signs of fizzling. The brick and mortar video game retailer declined nearly 19%, while the movie theater chain dropped 20% before Wednesday. And GameStop and AMC were up 179% and 135% this week, respectively, which is very wild. The sell off in AMC shares came after the company announced a debt for equity swap. AMC will issue 23.3 million shares in a debt for equity exchange for $163.9 million bonds that mature in 2026. The company also completed a $250 million stock sale on Monday. The two meme stars both experienced jaw dropping rallies and an explosion in trading volumes at the start of the week, but this time retail interest seems to be much smaller and short lived. In terms of net retail trader inflows, it pales in comparison with the epic mania 3 years ago. For example, GameStop and AMC saw more than $15.8 million and $37.5 million, respectively, in net retailer trader inflows Monday. Data from Vanda Research shows, but it dwarfed by that is dwarfed by peak daily inflows of about $87.5 million for GameStop and $170 million for AMC, seen in late January 2021. I'm pretty sure I didn't cover that whole phenomena that took place back in 2021. I don't think we were a thing. Like, I don't think the podcast was a thing. I don't think we were doing now and then back then. But let's see. I know Dumb Money kind of that's a Netflix show that kind of does a good explanation of the whole fucking meme stock phenomena that happened. Let's see, I'll actually kind of read the synopsis really quick. Everyday people flip the script on Wall Street and get rich by turning GameStop into one of the world's hottest companies. In the middle of everything is Keith Gill, also known as Roaring Kitty on Twitter, a regular guy who starts it all by sinking his life savings into the stock. When this social media post starts blowing up, so does his life and the lives of everyone following him. As a stock tip becomes a movement, everyone gets wealthy until the billionaires fight back and both sides find their worlds turned upside down. Let's see here. So yeah, it wasn't nearly that kind of spike. There's been more protocols and things put in place to kind of make sure that that doesn't really happen. I mean, that's just regulation for you, whether you like it or fucking not. But the speculative run was reignited Monday by a rare social media update from Roaring Kitty. The man, whose legal name is Keith Gill, posted a picture on the X social media platform of a video gamer sitting forward on the chair, a meme used by gamers to indicate they are taking the game seriously. So it's like, yeah, the meme was like the guy's like sitting back, and then you see him like rotated forward, and like he's locked in, he's focused, and people were like, oh shit. But Gil, also known as Deep Fucking Value on Reddit, is a former marketer for Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance, who previously led a host of day traders piling into GameStop back in 2021. The return of the meme stock phenomena brought GameStop and AMC shares up more than 70% on Monday, with the stock extending gains into Tuesday. Enthusiasm appeared to be fading by the close of previous session. So yeah, it came, it went. I know that the Roaring Kitty account, posted like more like memes and gifs, but normally like they back up what they're saying. At least that's what they did in the past. Years back. So this just was different all around. It felt a little bit more hollow. I don't know. But, figured it was just something that was, interesting to talk about. I love a good meme, and this is meme stock, I should say. So I was like, yeah, this is hand in hand. Let me go ahead and talk my shit. But yeah, that's what we'll call it. We'll go ahead and say that's an episode there. All right, good. Yeah, sweet. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Yeah, that's me. Become a newsie today. Let's see here. IsaiahNews1 at gmail.com. If you would like to just send feedback, hit me up the freeway. Feel free to also find me or follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. And hopefully subscribed to the YouTube. Really helps out a lot if you do that. And hitting the like button helps. Leaving a cool comment helps. Comments are great. Give me all the stars on the reviews for like my Spotify or the Apple or whatever listening thing. So there's like plenty of free ways to help out the effort. But I mean, regardless, you just listening is fine and dandy, and I love that. I love that for me. I love that for you. I love that for us. And hopefully, I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye bye. Mwah.